On today's episode of Anime Afterthought, The Rising of a Shield Hero, Season 2, Episode 11, Kizuna. I think today's episode is confirmation that Q is an absolute garbage piece of shit. For one brief shining moment though, you had me. You fucking had me. So after the timely demise of purple-haired douchebag, yes, what a hilariously cathartic scene. I mean, Raphtalia did warn you not to fucking move. We're introduced to Q's right-hand woman and sacrificial pawn, Yamogi. Now it's thanks to her that we get a little bit of backstory when it comes to Q, and I do emphasize a little bit. Here's what we know so far. Strange kid, strange clothes, likes to read books, and has a penchant for talking. Something that Yamogi found profound enough to devote herself to him. This includes an all-out attack on 2 cardinal and several vassal weapon heroes. Now at this point of the story, Glass has finally reunited with Kizuna, giving us a nice heartfelt scene where the two embrace. Unfortunately, this is quickly followed by a verbal tongue lashing from Kizuna to her compatriots when it's finally revealed why Glass went to Naofumi's world. Now, when Kizuna proclaimed that she would find another way for both worlds to coexist, it was like lightning had struck. Kizuna is pre-isekai Naofumi, right? Right at the beginning of his journey, he was full of hope and ambition and optimism. This is before the sad reality of the world he was isekai to had finally set in. Maybe it was due to the outsourcing, which, by the way, it seems a lot of today's episode was. I mean, gotta call it like I see it. Or perhaps it was on purpose, but Naofumi's mannerisms have changed. Although subtle, in today's episode, you can actually see him smiling, something that season 1 Naofumi just wouldn't, or more precise, couldn't. I think the longer he spends with Kizuna, hopefully the more she rubs off on him, and likely the other way around too, because remember, she's naive at this point. As soon as she was isekai'd, after a couple of ventures, she's been thrown into the infinite labyrinth, so she hasn't experienced any of these waves of catastrophe. That was until today. Now, like I said, thanks to Yamagi, we learn more about Kyu. After her failed attempt to take on the heroes and finding out that Kyu just was gonna use her as a fucking suicide bomber, she spills the beans, gives us that backstory as well as his quote-unquote noble goal, and that's the little area that maybe, just maybe, that this Kyu, although the ends definitely doesn't justify the means, for a split second I thought maybe this guy isn't so bad, he's just going about it really wrong, when she proclaims that he in fact wants to stop the waves of catastrophe. Unfortunately, it seems it was quite the opposite, as we see Kyu monologuing in his secret laboratory, the same one where he seems to be cultivating another purple-haired douchebag. Different worlds governed by different laws. Tear down those different barriers and summon that power here. Wave of calamity, dimensional wave. Once again, solidifying that this dude is a absolute piece of shit, but also fucking OP. We're talking about a multi-dimensional apocalyptic event, right? The waves of catastrophe are on a scale like no other, and somehow, foregoing the natural countdown, this motherfucker was able to summon one. Jesus Christ. Well, Kizuna, I guess it's your baptism by fire. Welcome to the waves. Overall, not bad. I mean, you could tell it was one of those padding episodes gearing up for the climax of the season, especially given the amount of outsourcing we see in today's episode. But some good things happened. We got more of a backstory. We got introduced to a new character, as well as Naofumi, and the others got that otherworldly drip. Definitely digging barbarian armor, level 2. Plus the philo pajamas. I mean, need I say more? Going forward though, only one thing is for sure. Kyo got to go. Gotta stop a mud hole in his crud hole. That motherfucker gots to get got. On to a more somber note, in lieu of my typical sign off, I think it's a good time to pay respects to Billy Kometz, the original English dub voice of Naofumi. Thank you for sharing your talent with the world.
Wherever the waves go, that's where I'm going, along with my friends. Because that's my job. I am the shield hero.